Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the exciting conclusion of the 2021 Texas State Disc Golf Championship here in Tyler, Texas. We are here at the very first national tour of the year. BigBarri commentary bringing you the action. Jeremy Koling, joined by Paul Ulibarri.
Let's get right into that Grip 6 low profile with Matt Orum leading the way at -1778%, which is number one in the field.
Yeah, and Ricky Wysocki, a mature Ricky Wysocki, a Texas-loving Ricky Wysocki. This man does well in this state. And Chris Dickerson bringing that East Tennessee action down here to the Lone Star State. Very gifted in the woods. And Casey White, he is holding on to his own out here doing big things.
I'm Paul Ulibarri with today's Bushnell hole breakdown. You can find the Sport 850 rangefinder at the link in the description. Hole 1 will play as one of the toughest birdies to get on the course. Players will try the high crash shot and the low piercing tunnel shot. This is a rare starting hole in which par is good. Birdie would be a huge bonus to start your round here at the difficult Dogwood course. Let's see how it plays out.
Teeing off first from Creola, Alabama, Matthew Orum.
Matt Orum, this player has been kicking some disc golf butt for decades. I mean, this guy made the finals of the 2006 World Championships in Augusta, Georgia. I mean, that is incredible that he's been able to sustain that disc golf excellence for so long. And he was just a kid then, and he's still kind of in his prime. I mean, definitely in his prime.
Absolutely. He's leading this event. He's pretty primey right now.
Matt is going with that lower line and just catching the edge of one of the limbs and dropping down.
Next on the tee from Campobello, South Carolina, Ricky Wysocki.
We mentioned this earlier in the week, but Ricky was quoted for saying, he likes being the favorite, and he says that he earned the right to be called the favorite, and he's going to embrace it. Let's see how he takes that momentum and that feeling into this final round, tied for the lead. He birdied this hole in round one.
Come on, really?
Oh, that's a good air bounce. Okay, and that's an even better drive than the first round.
Yeah, that was just blasted over the top. He didn't like it at first, but I think it caught a little second lift. Put him right there in position, circle's edge for the bird.
That rounded tree that you see straight ahead, slightly right of center, is the tree that most of the players that are going for that hyzer route are aiming at, trying to hit that and just hyzering right in front of it. Chris likes to go for a little bit more of a flex play over the top, but it is windier here in the final round. And he's still going to try that flex play. And that seems to work out great for him.
Yeah, not bad. He'll probably just lay that one up, but he'll have a look if he wants to put a little stab at it.
Casey White with a warm reception. All four of these players within one shot of the lead. Setting up for such an exciting final round.
Well, Ricky and Matt aren't within one of the lead. But Casey definitely is.
Okay, and he's going for that flex play, and that's nice and wide. And if that stays clean, oh my gosh, he's parked it. Oh my word, that's incredible.
He just didn't hit a thing.
And you're just kind of throwing and hoping at a certain point, but a beautiful line. And
was that a hyzer or was that a super hyzer? That was great.
Yeah, Chris is not going to get too aggressive here. Nice, Chris. No need to. This is a bonus birdie on for the field, but I mean, we got two players down here on the green looking for the birdie. Ricky even long off the tee, and he catches it. 2 under on hole 1 for Ricky, tying Kevin Jones with a couple of birdies.
That's insane. They're like the only 2 to get it.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, there's a few players who have got it in the field, but man, we're looking like we're going to get 2 birdies on this card, which is just...
This is a big putt here for Matty. He needs to put this one in. He's going to relinquish. Well, he already has relinquished the lead, but this would be a nice little putt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
From tee to approaches to the green, Matty O does it in a unique way. Nobody, and I can't think of anybody who's ever had the style that Matty O throws with. I mean, he brings it up high, near his shoulders, and really turns on it, and he just is able to consistently connect on that line, which is why he is here, now 1 stroke back of Ricky for the lead at this national tour. Hole 2 is a par 3, narrow gap off the tee. Right here is where it gets the skinniest. There is this winding creek that is out of bounds. All drives that kick one of these trees are going to find that OB creek, but if you miss that and you miss this one tree right there, you can move your way up to the green and have a short look for the birdie. Ricky going Firebird, keeping that wide, late skip.
Good.
That's how you do it.
Leaner. Oh, almost the leaner. Looks like Casey's lining up the flex play. Let's see if he gets this on a little bit of Anheuser. He does too much Anheuser. Goodbye.
And that kicks OB and
How are you doing that to yourself?
Matt Orum going high speed. Probably a D1.
Sit.
Inside, and that drops down, but it is very fortunately safe.
Chris going with an overstable putter play, it looks like here.
Yeah, I think this is his A3. It's a lot of speed to go with on this line, but man, look how it's so perfect.
Yeah, that was just as good as the, I believe, probably overstable fairway driver
Yeah.
Ricky threw. They were almost identical.
Wow. Yeah, this is why 2 can be such a pain in the butt. You kick right into that creek, and there's no easy up and down to save the 4. It can be an easy 2, but man, those 5s, those can come quick. Matty O getting a little bit of a roll, but that should be pretty manageable. So a tough start after the highlight birdie. On 1, he's going to be 1 over after 2 holes now.
5 really isn't that rare of a score on this hole. You usually see about 1 a card.
Oh, and Matty O is off left. That's going to drop 2 off of Ricky, who is under the basket. And just like that, Ricky is going to have a very comfortable start. I shouldn't say a very comfortable lead because it is still only a couple of strokes, but the last thing anybody in this field wants to do is give Ricky any sort of momentum in a Texas event. This guy is almost unbeatable in Texas. It is just, he might have more wins here than any non-native in the history. As far as tour events goes, I would imagine that has to be the case. He wins here constantly. Hole 3, par 4, 564 feet. Like, keep your drive down this fairway as far as you can get before you get to that OB creek that comes into play right here. If you do not get all the distance, it's probably best to stay on the right side of the fairway to open up the angle, setting up an approach shot through these last few trees. Very challenging par 4.
Picture perfect, but he does have to dodge a lot of stuff. Otherwise, oh, what a great little kick. That was probably heading to the out of bounds.
Yeah, it was. I mean, and that's what happens. If you give Ricky a little bit of momentum, he really likes playing with that and gets a lot smoother, a lot more confident.
Chris going with a mid-range here.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. As long as you can hit the gap, I like it.
Yeah, he seems to like to club down to really go through the shot in full speed and keeps it pretty much down the middle. Let's take a closer look at Matt Orum.
My name is Matthew Orum. I'm from Mobile, Alabama, and I'm a part of Team Prodigy. Started playing, I'd say I was about 10 years old. My dad used to run all the tournaments. His name is Jim Orum. He started the Southern National Disc Golf Organization. He wasn't too fond to let me go out with all the adults as a kid, but then he realized how good I was. By the time I was 12 years old, I was winning in AM tournaments. I used to like beating up on old people, man. It was fun. They used to hate it. I understand why, and I think that drove me a lot. By the time I was 16, I won an A-tier and Open in Birmingham. Following year 17, I got second in the World Championships. Beat Ken Klima, which is still like my favorite thing I've ever done, because he was my hero. At that point, I became from Jim's son to Matt Orum. And then that's whenever it was the career started right then. Honestly, I'll probably, unless it's a major or a really, really, really high quality tournament, I will probably recommend myself only playing in the woods or somewhat woods. Like, I love being in the woods. I love the shot making. When you get to some of these tournaments, not to just say it, but like they're all spike hyzers and putting, you know, and I like the creativity, I like the shot making, and I love just being in the woods. It's like walking the woods and I'm throwing disc, you know, doing what I love. I've definitely seen the game change tremendously in, honestly, the last year, but I've been playing since 1999. About right when I started playing, the CE plastic came out. There was only DX plastic back then, so that step alone right there was a huge step. 5 years ago, I could go to New Orleans. Nobody knew what disc golf was. And after COVID, they had 150 people at league. They used to never get more than 20, and there were always the local yokels. You can go around town. Everybody knows what disc golf is there, particularly now. The exposure y'all do for us and Jomez and everybody, I think it's just completely made the game grow. I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, special character. This guy is this rare person, Matty O.
He's been around for a very long time. Those Southern National events are not PDGA sanctioned typically, and if they were, Matt Orum would have hundreds of wins.
Yeah. Matt Orum, Cam Colglazer, those guys have been whooping up the Southern National scene for years. Casey, this is looking so close to perfection, just a bit right.
I believe it was actually maybe 2004 when Matty O took second place.
Yeah, so I mean, he's been in the finals many times.
Yeah, that was his first finals. It was 2004.
Wow.
Which is just insane.
Was he like 12? I mean, how old was he?
Yeah.
Come on.
I think he likes it.
For it.
Why would you not like that? How could you not love that shot? That's so good. Man, pin high. Wow. Out of position and just stripes it. Chris, that's just kind of rolling the dice to that inside line. You really have to be all the way down. We're eventually going to get to Ricky's drive after Casey throws his third.
Casey in the spot where Ricky actually bounced off and to a nice little lie there. And this is an ambitious effort, but looks great actually.
Shot.
Pretty good.
Shot.
So he'll have that for par. Ricky, meanwhile, well, just a bit off.
A bit unlucky there. Honestly, that's the one thing you got to miss coming in, skipping in right there.
"75 feet for Chris off the cage. Maybe not 75 feet. He made it look like it was just barely outside the circle. Great run. And wow.
Ricky misses from 40. Incredible.
Well, not only that, from the tee, I'm sure they all thought that that was going to be a guaranteed 3 for Rick. As Casey stabs the par, great putt. But now all of a sudden, Matty O has an opportunity to gain one of those 3 shots that he lost in the first 2 holes. And he connects. That's a great birdie to pick up from out of position. On to hole 4, par 4, 474 feet. You want your tee shot to go about 250 to 275 feet or so, right around here where that yellow disc is a really great tee shot. Maybe another 10 feet to be in that ideal landing zone to have this straight, narrow uphill approach to the green. There is a little bit of a mound right in front, but the ground play is really slidey with all this pine straw. This is the 3rd easiest hole on the course.
I love it. Matty O can attack it from all sorts of different ways. Rollers, Anheuser's, sidearm, backhand. Super creative player. Great scrambler.
Yeah, he's one of those old school players that learned how to play with his own form, and his dad obviously such a huge impact on that Southern National scene. And just, Ricky, a very fortunate kick back to the middle of fairway. That would have been in a lot of danger had it continued moving right and early. But he didn't have videos and YouTube and all that other stuff that players today have. He just basically went out there and learned how to throw the disc the way that he liked it, and that's why his form is unique to anyone else. He'll also give a lot of credit to the pioneers in Alabama that came before him, Dean Tannick, Rivers Sherrod, a ton of really talented players from that area. Always giving a shout out to Chicxulub Disc Golf Course. And Casey lands that one in the middle. Good tee shots from Chris and Casey.
Ricky's going to have some work from here. Looks like he has to do the patent pending, little Anheuser probably play. To get to, oh boy, this little left. Yeah.
He's going to pay the price. And just like that, he is going flick roller.
Just like I said, this guy is a scrambler. Look at this thing. Look at it get through everything. Go. That's a putt?
Yeah, just on the short side of that little mound.
First time rolling that FX too. I like it.
Giving a little shout out to Chris Dickerson's favorite disc.
All right.
I'll work.
Turn.
Oh man, Chris having to go flex play, such a difficult thing to do with an overstable disc in the woods. Trusting that angle and the spin.
This is an important upshot for Rick. I mean, that's a good play. I mean, it seems easy, but one little slip up early, late, and then all of a sudden he's got bogeyed for sure. So that's a good up and down from him to save his par, probably.
Matty with a long bid to get it within one. Oh, so close. I like how he just left his glasses sitting there on the brim of his nose. Chris just barely off as well.
There you go. There's a
Casey.
good bird keeping
Yeah.
himself in it now.
Yep. Back to 3 back of the pace that Ricky's setting. And back to even par for the round now.
Yep.
And Ricky able to scramble his way to a par. And Chris and Matt will tap in for their pars. These guys want to give Ricky a run for his money. I really feel like these birdies in the front 9 really need to start happening now. Hole 5 may not be the hole to start
Totally
it on,
agree.
but if you get one here, there's a good chance you can gain a stroke on the field because this is one of the hardest holes. Par 3, 306 feet, and it just starts to move right about here, and this is where the gap gets incredibly difficult. So hard to hit this blind gap, keep the disc moving all the way down this hill.
I feel like the backhand play is really the pure route, but we saw Casey use this one yesterday.
Oh, wow. That's using all of the fairway.
Like,
Yeah, and that's
Wow.
through. He likes it, but I think that's going to be short right. I don't think that's going to get all the way
Yeah.
down there.
If you want to get all the distance on this one, I don't buy the 306. I think it's farther, and I think you have to get something flipping up with the forehand. Matty-O, however, going backhand, getting that counter skip,
Oh, what a shot.
and that'll leave, I don't want to say it's too dangerous of a putt, but that there is a little bit of a slope behind the basket.
That's fantastic, though.
all the way through, all the way through, all the way through. Go in.
Wow.
Oh, crap. Had to be close.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
How can you? Okay.
That was so good. I mean, that's the only way to get it there. That's the exact line. I mean, he did it yesterday as well, so he's got this hole dialed.
I guess. That hardest hole in the course, folks.
That got claps. He's halfway down the fairway.
Yeah.
That's how good those shots were from the other 3.
And I understand why you're laying that up from there, but with Ricky pretty much parked, I mean, Dickerson just can't let any more strokes escape him at this point, I don't feel like, even though it is early in the round.
Sit. I don't know where mine's at, but I think I'm
And he didn't hit anything, got a skip and everything, and he's still 40 short.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, more than 40, probably 50. This is a 40-footer.
Matty-O needs to make it and gets it over the rim
Wow.
and in.
What a putt from Matty. Look at his style. Like you said, so unique. Extend all the way there. Body English.
It's amazing when the disc comes out as clean as it does, the way that he throws. I don't think that anyone could go to their backyard and try to emulate what Matty-O does and get the same results, or even smooth-looking results.
No, he's one of the funnest people to watch play because he looks fluid. He looks like he knows what he's doing
But it's something that you can't do.
that you've never seen.
Yeah, right. I think of a player like Steve Brinster or Nicola Castro in that way, and that it's just hard to emulate what they do, but it's very pretty to watch.
Right, but I just feel like his fluidity is a lot better than them. The way that he glides across the tee pad and even, you know, his up shots and stuff, it just seems like, oh, wow, he's really good.
Wow. 2 birdies on hole 5 for Ricky and Matty-O, and pars were saved by Casey and Chris. Moving on to one of the easier birdies to get on this course, hole 6. Par 3, 243 feet. You have the out-of-bounds ditch right there in the middle of the fairway, and if you hit one of those early trees right by the ditch, just like hole 2, most likely you're going to go into that out-of-bounds area. Ricky's just throwing the disc very confident right now.
Yeah, he makes these gaps look pretty big. This one must look like the size of the Grand Canyon compared to...
And take a look at that again. Just
compared to the last hole.
oh yeah, right. I mean, you can see the basket. It's like 7 times as wide, and Ricky's just eating these holes up.
Do it.
Oh,
He thinks right away that this is going in. Wow.
and good touch, good breaks there as well. That'll stay close. Give Matteo a short putt for the 2. Casey kicking right, double kicking right, which kept him safe.
No turn.
But on the bad side of the creek, that'll be about 100 feet left to the pin. Chris needs to sit down, and man, that had a lot of speed.
All these guys so good at the commitment through the shot, that follow through, that kind of stops from the right side. I mean, that's nice.
Something.
Yeah, he needs help. Yeah, he's got that.
And getting past that wall of trees is important. If that gets caught up in those trees, it can be a very tricky short putt for the par. Chris going 40 deep. No.
No.
Here, Matt.
Still haven't got to Ricky and Matteo's drive. Casey, kind of a up and down round thus far. 1 over for the day. It's amazing how quick. I mean, these guys have only been playing the round for maybe 30, 35, 40 minutes at this point, and just like that, Casey's going to be 6 shots back of Rick, and he's only got 12 holes left to catch him, and I mean, that's a tough thing to do. A player like Rick, who's just, I mean, he's tough to beat anywhere, but here it's something in the Texas air, something about the sun down here. Ricky just likes it. Hole 7, par 4, 420 feet. This is a right to left moving hole where you want to keep the disc on the right side. If you miss it all, inside left makes it really, really difficult to get your second shot up to this green. Obviously, you can see here there is the ditch that can possibly present some putting challenges if the person's drive isn't great. That approach shot can be difficult.
Oh.
He kicks in the middle, though, and that'll have some sort of something.
Yeah, at best he can get maybe to the ditch. And that's looking good for Matt.
That's perfect. Easy approach from there. You just have about 3 big wide trees to miss approaching the basket.
Chris, again, no funny business play, just going with a stable disc, but kind of pushing it out the backside of the gap of the fairway. There might be some lane from there, but it's not exactly what Chris is looking for. Casey responds after that bogey
Decent
with
kick.
yeah. Again, not exactly what he was looking for.
That gets into the ditch. Pretty good. Pretty good little move there. High Annie, just got to get...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, buddy.
Great approach. And one of the few places on the course where you actually have a pretty high ceiling, and it's so important that the ceiling is high on this approach because you need all of that height to get that anhyzer to carry.
Butters from Chris.
And that's going to hang on the edge. So that'll be a short putt for birdie. And that is going to be left of the basket by about 28 feet.
I think he's going to be like closer than that. I think that might have been a little optical illusion there.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Ricky almost. That would have been an incredible birdie save.
What do you think?
Well, let's count the steps. 1, 2, 3, 8. Yeah, about 27, 28 feet.
Yeah. Super optical illusion.
Yeah. Kind of just nailed it on the head first
Yeah.
try, but whatever, you know.
It was a good putt.
It was a good
Nonetheless.
putt and an opportunity to gain another stroke. So now he's just one back of Ricky. And once again, we have kind of a two-horse race developing, although Chris isn't going anywhere, just not the fast start that I'm sure he was expecting or hoping for. He's still obviously right there in the mix, and we're going to need to see Casey go on a streak from here on out if he wants to be in contention at the end. Hole 8, par 3, 400 feet. This is the second most difficult hole in the course. Not many 2s, many 4s, many 5s. The shot requires... The best line is going to be that forehand Anheuser with a high-speed driver that turns to the first 2 gaps and then still makes this gap. So many things to contend with.
Do it again.
Matty O calling for Lightning to strike twice and almost
Wow.
does.
Try for it this time.
The backhand gap really does require a little bit of lucky magic to get through all the way on that right side.
This has a little too much turn, so it's going to catch those left trees, but that was almost
You'll take
it.
that drive every day of the week. Getting across the ditch and
Oh,
one,
yeah.
That's a
course.
fantastic.
But it was almost perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was the right flight, just a little more stability at the end to get all the way up there for a park job.
Mm-hmm. And he's got that green light go from there with the uphill slope behind the basket. He can give it a nice aggressive run.
No tree cake.
Casey was in the same place yesterday.
Oh, no.
Man, and that is a common mistake to make on that sidearm because you really want to use that width to swing back to the fairway and really make that gap as big as possible. But, oh, and this is going to be short near the ditch, and Ricky is going to drop a stroke here. And Matty O he's got a long birdie putt.
Right into it.
Oh, no, and gets a little... Casey kind of on that up and down battle with the course right now. There's a good shot from Ricky, though. I mean, that could easily
Wow.
go sideways as well, and you're staring
Yeah.
a double bogey right in the eye.
And he really wasn't that close to the ditch. I thought he was way closer. He still had to work pretty hard to get up there for the bogey. Now let's see what Matty O can do. If he could drain this long putt, he'll take the lead.
And he's just laying it up.
Yeah, that was maybe a little bit of a ceiling issue right in front of him, but either way, he's going to be tied with Ricky at 20 under par.
Doesn't get that one turned over quite enough, but I mean, good bid. Chain high as it kind of went by.
That's very
Yeah, that's bogey.
So Ricky's scorecard now has a blemish on it. 300 through 8 is, yeah, as hot as it looked like he was starting, it's
That'll slow you right down.
it really
Pretty
will.
quickly.
Just the,
His sidearm's been coming out early left, a little bit late. He's gonna need to get in control of that on this back section of the course. I feel like it's kind of required to scramble a lot, and kind of down the stretch, there's a lot of sidearms you're going to need to throw. So,
Well, certainly there's essentially the mandatory forehand that's coming up on 11, and a few others that are definitely going to come in to play at some point, and they just get more and more important every hole that we play. 10 holes that go. Hole 9, par 3, 351 feet, and a very important hole after playing the daunting hole 8, as it just kind of feels like a nice gift. It just feels like the course is kind of giving you a little bit back here. A nice wide fairway, beautiful. The trees line the gap, and you can just see as this drone's flying over, just the way the sun comes down this fairway. It's just a very picturesque hole here at Dogwood.
see if Maddie can keep the pressure now on the rest of the card.
Oh, and that's pulled right.
But it could get... no, it can't get.
75 feet or so. He said little tight, but I thought he said roll tide. Which, honestly, you hear him say probably roll tide more.
Go in, I guess.
Oh, man.
Well, Casey was able to get the bird after the first bogey. Let's see if he can do it after the second.
Oh, that's going right.
Yeah.
He might.
His bounce back percentage is going to take a hit, though. I don't think he's going to get the birdie here. This is looking pretty good if it can turn at the end, and that'll be a makeable putt, but a long one. Okay, so given that good hype, but that's going to be...
Yeah, you get past that basket and it gets pretty hairy quick. Yeah. Little tiny little windows here and there, but it gets you nervous for sure.
Matteo going long hyzer. That's a very ambitious attempt to go right at the big pine.
Not happy with that attempt. Maybe a little ceiling issue or something. Didn't pop it enough, but
And those drives look better off the tee than they do now that we get up to the green. And with Chris off, I mean, no birdies for our lead group on hole 9. Quite shocking. No one even within circle. Well, I guess that was circle 2, but back edge.
ooh, stay in there.
Ricky's showing little signs of frustration right now. I'm sure he felt pretty comfortable with that 3-stroke lead he had early, but man, things kind of turned around midway through this round.
When you're in the woods, I mean, anything can happen. One tree kick here, you could throw a good shot and then all of a sudden be taking bogey sometimes. So,
And Chris, with just only 2 birdies on the front 9, could you imagine with shooting 2 down the front 9 that you'd still be within 2 shots of the lead here? Ricky Wysocki and Matty O still atop the leaderboard at 20 under par. Macbeth climbing the leaderboard. Surprise, surprise. He is at 17. He is 3 shots back. Joel Freeman still in the mix and a ton of other players. It is a very tight event right now at this point. Anything could happen on this back 9. It's going to be great to watch. Thanks to the Founders Club. Thanks to Paul Ulibarri. I'm Jeremy Koling. We'll catch you in the back 9.